Hello everyone, and you are watching me on my channel Teacher Sneha. In this video, we are going to solve IGCSE Extended Mathematics Paper 4, which was asked in February-March 2025 session. It is a 100-mark paper and calculator use is allowed for this paper. So I will scroll down through the paper and I will be explaining each and every question that was asked in this paper and steps to solve all those questions. Now, as I scroll down through the paper, you can see the second page has list of formulae that will be required to solve the questions that are asked in this question paper. Here we are on page number 3, question number 1 of this question paper. First question, the examiner asks us, write down a factor of 28 that is a prime number. So when we express 28 as a product of prime numbers, we write it as 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 7. That means 2 and 7 are the prime factors of 28. You can write either 2 or 7, any one as an answer. Second question of this question paper is an algebraic expression. You have to simplify that. 4y square plus 3y minus y square plus 2y. To simplify algebraic expression, first thing is you have to collect the like terms. So when you collect the like terms, 4y square minus y square gives you an answer 3y square, and 3y plus 2y gives you an answer plus 5y. So this is the answer for the second question in this question paper. The third question is shade two more small squares to make pattern with two lines of symmetry. So the boxes that were given with gray color, they were shaded already. As an answer, I have shaded two more boxes with pink color, as you can see. On shading these two boxes, now this particular shape has two lines of symmetry. How we can get those two lines of symmetry is when you draw the lines diagonally. Say, for example, see, now you draw a line diagonally through this shape. This is the first line of symmetry that the shape will have. And then draw another diagonal line. That is the second line of symmetry the shape would have. I have just made a rough sketch of the two lines of symmetry, but this is how your two lines of symmetry should look like. Question number 4 of this question paper is a question which you have to solve using calculator. You have been given a question, and once you put all of the digits on the calculator, the final answer that you get is 2.59888873. These are all the numbers that appeared on my calculator screen. I have written it as it is. And after you round off this to one decimal place as given in the question, 2.59, rounded it off further to 2.6. This is your final answer of this question. That I will scroll to question number 5. Question number 5, a pattern is formed by three congruent rectangles. This is rectangle 1, this is rectangle 2, and this is rectangle 3. Each rectangle is a rotation of 90 degree around one vertex of the rectangle next to it. So this particular rectangle is formed after rotating this rectangle, and the third rectangle is formed after rotating second rectangle. Point A coordinates are given as 2, 5. So x coordinate 2, y coordinate 5. Point B coordinates are 4, 1.5. So x coordinate 4, y coordinate 1.5. The question here is you have to work out coordinates of point C and D. Point C is located here and point D is located here. How we will work out the coordinates for point C and D? Let's figure this out. First, what we will do is we will work out the length of this particular rectangle, the first rectangle given to us before rotation, and then the height or the width of the rectangle also. Since the difference between the two x coordinates, this is x coordinate 4 and x coordinate 2, the difference between these two rectangles is 2. That's why the length of this particular rectangle is 2 and the height or the width of this particular rectangle will be the difference in the y coordinates, that is 5 minus 1.5, which gives us the answer 3.5. So the length is 2 and the width is 3.5. After rotating this rectangle over here, now this particular thing is the width or the height after rotation. Now it's increasing by 3.5. That means you have to increase your x coordinate by 3.5. So 4 plus 3.5, the new x coordinate over here is 7.5, which is x coordinate of C. The original y coordinate was 5 minus this 2 units. So 5 minus 2, the answer for the y coordinate is 3. So C will have the coordinates x as 7.5 and y as 3. On further rotation for point D, what happens is this particular length of 2 units is increased further, and that got added to the x coordinate of D. So 7.5 plus 2, the x coordinate is going to be 9.5. And originally, the D has y coordinate as 3, and that got increased with this width or the height, which was 3.5. So 3 plus 3.5, the final answer is 6.5. So this is how we have worked out the coordinates for C and D. So C is 7.5 comma 3 and D is 9.5 comma 6.5. Moving further to question number 6 in this question paper. Each week, Nisha is paid $12 per hour for first 40 hours that she works. She is paid 30% more per hour for any extra hours that she works. 1 week, Nisha works for 45.5 hours. Calculate how much she is paid that week. Now, amount of hours that is given here is 40 hours. So, for 40 hours, her payment is going to be 40 multiplied by 12, which is 480 rupees. Additional hours that Nisha gets paid is 30% of her original pay. So 30% of 12 is 3.6. That means she will get paid $12 plus 3.6, $15.6 per extra hour. Now, when she works for 40.5 hours, first 40 hours, she gets 480 rupees. Remaining 5.5 hours, she gets paid by 15.6 rupees per hour. So 5.5 multiplied by 15.6, which is 85.8. Total payment is $565.8. Scrolling down further to question number 5. The table shows age and mass of 10 babies. Point number 1 to 6 are plotted for you on the graph already. The further 4 points you are supposed to plot on the graph paper. So this is the graph provided. The gray ones, you can see those were the points already plotted. And the new ones with green line that you can see, those points are plotted by me. After plotting the points, what we do next is we draw a line of best fit. First 6 points were plotted. I plotted the other 4 points. Then I have done the line of best fit also. Let's solve these questions further. What type of correlation? It is a positive correlation. Use your line of best fit to find an estimate of mass of 14-week-old baby. So 14-week-old baby, here we spot 14 on the graph paper. I draw a perpendicular line to the line of best fit, and after that I draw another perpendicular line to the mass. So the reading from this particular graph is this is 6 and there is 1, 2, 3 lines above 6. That means the mass of the baby is 6.3 kg. Question number 8 in this question paper. The scale drawing shows the positions of both A and B. So this is boat A, this is boat B. I have connected these two dots with a green color line. The scale represents 1 centimeter is equal to 0.5 kilometers. Find the actual distance between boat A and boat B. So I took a ruler and measured the distance between boat A and B, which comes out to be 4.2 centimeters. And since 1 centimeter is 0.5 kilometers, for 4.2 centimeters, it is 4.2 multiplied by 0.5, which is 2.1 kilometers. 4.4 kilometers from A and 3.3 kilometers from both B. Use a ruler and compass only to construct and label position of L. To work that out, firstly, we need to work out the distance in centimeters. It is given that from point A, it is 4.4 kilometers. So 4.4 kilometers converted to centimeters would be 8.8 centimeters. We will divide with this given scale factor and we land upon the answer 8.8 centimeter. So from point A, I will make an arc here indicating 8.8 centimeters distance. And from point B, it is 3.3 kilometers. So 3.3 kilometers converted to centimeters is 6.6. I make another arc at the distance 6.6. On joining, we get a triangle like this, 8.8 centimeters, 6.6 centimeters, and 4.2 centimeters. And where these 2 points intersect, this is your position L of the lighthouse. Scrolling down further to question number 9, you have to write the given number in standard form. So the answer in standard form is 7.09 into 10 power minus 3. Why? Because when we shift this decimal place to be placed here between 7 and 0.9, we moved 3 decimal places. That's why the answer is 10 to the power minus 3. You have been given an indices question to work out and give your answer in standard form. So 4 into 10 raised to 4, and that's in the bracket, and bracket has power of 2. So 4 will also have power of 2, and 10 to the power 4 will also have power of 2. So 4 power 2, answer is 16. 10 power 4, and that whole thing to the power 2 is 10 to the power 8. And then when we have to write the answer in standard form, it is 1.6 into 10 power 9. Why? Because we put a decimal point between 1 and 6. As the standard form numbers always have to be in between 1 to 9.9. Further to question number 10. It's a question based on the chapter transformations. You have been given draw the image angle A after reflection in line y is equal to 1. So this is originally given triangle A. You have to draw its reflection in line y is equal to 1. So this dotted line which I have marked, its line y is equal to 1 because it's on y-axis and passing from point 1. And then in this particular line, the reflection of triangle A looks like this. The image that now we have to mark triangle A after translation of vector -6 and 1. So -6 means we will be going 6 steps to the left and 1 step up. So this is triangle A. I take it 6 steps to the left and 1 step up. This is how my new triangle looks like. And I have marked it with 2. After that, the next question is describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle B. This is triangle A onto triangle B. Which transformation? So if you observe closely, it is rotation 90-degree anti-clockwise. So that I have written rotation 90-degree anti-clockwise. Now, about which point is this rotation happening? We need to figure that out. And to do that, what we do is we connect the 2 end points of the triangle. And after connecting those 2 end points, we have to draw the perpendicular bisectors to those 2 lines which we have joined. So this was vertex of the triangle, the top vertex. After rotation, this becomes the top vertex. So I have connected these 2 top vertex indicating a blue line here. And then this is the perpendicular bisector which is drawn to this line. And I have done this using the protractor. What other thing you can do is you can do this with the help of a butter paper also and figure out which is the point of rotation. So here, since the two perpendicular bisectors are meeting at this particular point, x coordinate 3 and y coordinate -1 is the center of rotation. I will scroll down further to question number 11. Vidhi will invest $15,000 at a rate of 4.2 per year compound interest. Calculate the value of the investment at the end of 5 years. So A is equal to P bracket 1 plus R divided by 100 to the power of N. This is the formula that we will be using to calculate compound interest. Principal amount invested here was 1,500, and then as per the formula, rate of interest is 4.2 and it is compounded for 5 years. So after substituting all of these values, I will be writing it down on the calculator. And after I get the calculator answer as 1,842.59. So this is the amount that Midil will get after 5 years of his investment. B part of this question, Hitanshi invests some money at a rate of X% per year compound interest. At the end of 11 years, the value of the investment is doubled. Calculate the value of X. That means calculate the value of our investment. So let's assume that the value of our investment was X. That means the principal amount is X. And amount now doubles. So what you get as amount after the compound interest is 2x. Rate of interest we will assume here as R. After substituting all of these things in the given formula, amount is 2x, principal invested was x, 1 plus R upon 100 to the power of 11 because it is invested for 11 years. Now, after rearranging the formula, x shifts to the other side, 2x divided by x, and then this whole thing to the power of 11. So 2 is equal to 1 plus R divided by 100 to the power of 11. Now we will be taking the 11th root of 2. Why? Because here it's power of 11 and we need to remove power of 11 and that can be done only after power of 2. So 11th power of 2 gives me an answer 1.065. So 1 plus R divided by 100 is giving me an answer 1.065. On rearranging the formula, I get R divided by 100 as 1.065 minus 1, which is 0.065. That is R divided by 100. Rate of interest divided by 100. So when I will shift 100 to the other side, it will multiply and give us the answer in percentage form. So rate of interest over here is 6.5%. Moving further to question number 12. A cone has a sloping edge of 12 centimeter and base radius 5 centimeter. Calculate the total surface area of the cone. Curved surface area A of the cone and the radius R, sloping edge L. A is equal to pi RL. The formula is also given to us. So first we will find the curved surface area. Curved surface area using the formula A is equal to pi RL, pi into 5 into 12. It gives me an answer 188.4. An area of the base circle, because since we are finding the total surface area, the cone has a base as circle. So area of circle is pi r square, which is 78.5. On adding both the things to get the total surface area, 188.4 plus 78.5 will give me an answer 266.9. Scrolling further to question number 13. The table shows first 5 terms of sequence A, B, and C. You have to work out what is the nth term for each of the sequence. So 5, 12, 31, 68, 129. I have written the sequence here and I have tried to figure out what type of sequence is this. So I take the difference between the first 2 terms is 7, next 2 terms difference is 19, next 2 terms difference is 37, and another 2 terms difference is 61. When I take the difference of the differences is 12, 18, 24, and further difference is 6. Since I have calculated the difference 3 times, That means it is a cubic sequence. So cubic sequence nth term you can find out by using the formula 6a is equal to 6, 7a plus 3b plus c, a plus b plus c plus d. These are the three formulae that you will have to use to figure out the cubic sequence. Now, let's start with the formula method, and then I will tell you one other method also which you can use to get the nth term of this given sequence. Since I am explaining the formula method first, in the formula method, we start with the last difference first. So last difference is considered as 6a. So 6a is equal to 6. So we get the answer for a as 1 because 6a is 6, a is equal to 1. Then we use the formula to solve the second difference. Second difference is 12. So 12a plus 2b is equal to 12. Now a value we have obtained as 1. So 12 into 1 plus 2b is equal to 12. On solving, we get the answer for b as b is equal to 0. Then for the third difference, we use the formula 7a plus 3b plus c is equal to 7. A was 1, B was 0, and now we will work out for C. When we calculate for C, the answer comes as 0. Then we use the formula A plus B plus C plus D is equal to the first term of the sequence, which is 5. A answer we obtained as 1, B and C answer was obtained as 0, D answer we need to work out. So D answer over here is 5. And nth term formula is A n to the power 3, bn to the power 2, cn plus d. Now, whatever values we obtained here for a, b, and c, we need to substitute. So, a answer is 1n cube plus 0n square plus 0n plus 4. So, it is n cube plus 4. This is how we will obtain this using a formula method. Otherwise, what alternative method you can do it mentally or by simple observation is that is first term and the first natural number sequence is 1. 1 plus 4 will give you 5. Second natural number is 2. 2 cube is 8. 8 plus 4 will give you 12. Then 3 cube is 27 plus 4 will give you 31. So you can do it that way also, n cube plus 3. So to work out the nth term of the sequence, which is n cube plus 4. Then we will move to sequence B. Sequence B is an arithmetic sequence. An arithmetic sequence, there are two arithmetic sequences. One is in the numerator and the other one is in the denominator. Arithmetic sequences nth term formula is a plus n minus 1 bracket multiplied by d, where a is the first term of the sequence and d is the common difference. On substituting the value for the numerator, we get an answer 11 minus n. And for the denominator, since it is 3, 4, 5, 6, it is n plus 2. So I did particular thing with mental maths. And the answer for my second sequence nth term is 11 minus n divided by n plus 2. Third sequence, as you notice, it is 4 double 8, 8 double 16, 16 double 32. That means it's a geometric sequence with a ratio of 2. And then the formula for geometric sequence is a into r to the power n minus n. On substituting the values, you get 4 multiplied by 2 to the power n minus n. So these are your three answers for the three nth term of the sequences. Then I scroll down further to question number 14. It's a functions question. F of x is given as 5 minus 4x. You have to find the value for function f bracket minus 3. You substitute x as minus 3 and solve this given equation. You get an answer 17. Second is you have to find function of 3 minus 2x. Now, what will you do here is in place of x, you will substitute 3 minus 2x. So, it is 5 minus 4 bracket 3 minus 2x. Multiply the brackets and simplify. So, it is 5 minus 12 plus 8x. Final answer is 8x minus 7. Then you have to find the inverse of the function x. So function was given as fx is equal to 5 minus 4x. So I write that in the form of y is equal to 5 minus 4x because functions of x is y. Then what you do is you swap the places of x and y. So here in place of y, you see I have written x, and here in region of x, here in place of x, I have written y. After you swap the location of x and y, now you have to make y as the subject of the formula. Make y as the subject of the formula. What you do is you take this whole term with 4y to the other side. X plus 4y is equal to 5. 4y is equal to 5 minus x. Y is equal to 5 minus x divided by 4. So this is the inverse of the function 5 minus 4x. I will scroll down further to question number 15. Virat records the height of 80 sunflowers. The results are shown in the table. So here is a table given to you, and you have to calculate the estimate mean of the height. How do we estimate mean of this particular table? For these are the groups into which the height is divided. So this group titles or the group headings or the group widths, we will take the midpoint of this group widths. So 1.2 and 1.5, the midpoint is 1.35. 1.5 to 1.6, the midpoint of this group is 1.55. Midpoint of the second group is 1.65 and midpoint of the last one is 1.8. This midpoint of the class width, we will multiply it with frequency. First case, when I multiply this x with frequency, I get an answer for fx as 16.2. Here I get an answer 31. Here I get an answer 56.1. And here 1.8 multiplied by 14, I get an answer 25.2. Now all of these fx values I need to add. So 16.2 plus 31 plus 56.1 plus 25.2, and this whole thing divides by 80. Your answer for mean will be 128.5 divided by 80, which is equal to 16.60625. The answer is 16.6. The B part of this question is draw a histogram to show the given information on the table. So the first group had frequency of 12, and the difference between the two readings on the group was 1.5 minus 1.2, that was 0.3. So the frequency divided by the class width gives us the answer 40. Here in the second case, it gives me the answer 200. In the third case, it will give me an answer 340, because you see here it is 1.5 to 1.6. So the class width is 0.1. Here also the class width is 0.1. And here the class width is 0.2. So 0.2 divides 14, it gives me an answer 70. So these are my four readings, 40, 200, 340 and 70, that I will be plotting on the histogram to get my frequency histogram done, frequency density histogram done. So from 1.2 to 1.5, the answer was 40. So it's 4 lines above 0. 1.5 to 1.6, the answer was 200. So it's a bar till 200. Next is 340. So it's a bar till 340. And the next one is 70. So here is the bar till 70. So this is how your frequency histogram would look like. Scrolling further to question number 16. The graph shows the speed of a cyclist during a journey of 30 seconds. So you can see the cyclist starts from 0, his speed, increasing speed, then he slows down, then the speed becomes constant, and then you see deceleration. That means the speed is decreasing down when the cyclist comes to an halt. You have been given all the data in meter per second. You have to write down the acceleration of the cyclist between 15 and 25 seconds. So 15 and 25 seconds is this. where the cyclist is moving with a constant speed, and at constant speed there is no acceleration, so acceleration is 0 meter per second. By drawing a tangent, find the estimate of the acceleration of the cyclist at 7.5 seconds. So at 7.5 seconds here, okay, this is 5, this is 10. So the center point of that is 7.5 seconds. So 7.5 seconds here I have drawn a tangent, and to this tangent I have to find the gradient. So to work out the gradient, what I did was I have taken any two random points on this tangent, and then the gradient is difference in x coordinate minus difference in y coordinate, which is 8 minus 7 divided by 12 minus 7.5. That is 0.22 as a final answer. So his acceleration was 0.22 meter per second. Then the next calculation is work out the average speed of the cyclist between 15 and 30 seconds. 15 to 30 seconds. So 15 to 30 seconds is this particular part which I have separated with this blue line. So 15 to 30 seconds, the time taken is 15 seconds. And then the distance covered is this particular shaded region. That's the area of the trapezium we have to work out. An area of the trapezium we can work out with the formula half into sum of parallel sides multiplied by the height. So here sum of parallel sides, these two sides are parallel. So we will work out the length of these two sides. If you closely observe in this diagram, this is the first parallel side and this is the second parallel side of this trapezium. If I measure this length using the graph, it is 10, and measure this distance using the graph, it is 15. So 10 plus 15 is my sum of parallel sides multiplied by 8. 8 is the height of this particular trapezium. You see here, we are here on this axis till 8. So 8 is the height of the trapezium. On simplifying this, we get an answer for distance as 100 meters, because half into 10 plus 15, which is 25. So 25 multiplied by 4. Answer is 100 meters distance is covered, and the time taken for this is 15 seconds. So 100 divided by 15, the answer is 6.67 meter per second. Scrolling down further, the diagram shows 3 points A, B, and C on a horizontal ground. The bearing of C from A is 145. So bearing of C from A, you can see this is written as 145. Then the next is ACB is 38. This angle is 38 already. It is marked. AC is 65 meters. This is 65 meters and this is 95 meters. Find the bearing B from C. So find bearing B from C. You have to work out this particular bearing. To work out this particular bearing, what you have to do is this bearing, which is given already, plus this bearing, which is the bearing of A from C. You have to calculate. So if this is 145, the other one is 35. Why? Because these two lines are parallel and the interior angles in parallel lines should add up to 180. So this answer is 35 and this answer is 38. From this entire 300, this entire angle of 360 degree, when I subtract 38 and 35, I get an answer 287 degrees, which is bearing of B from C. I scroll down further, you have to show that the length of AB is 59.3 meters corrected to one decimal place. AB. Now here you can see one side is given, the other side is given, and the angle enclosed between the two sides is given. So the formula that we will be using here is a cosine rule. And as per cosine rule, AB square will be the other two sides square minus 2AB cos 38. So I put all of these values in the calculator and I get answer for AB as 59.3 meters after rounding off to one decimal place. Then we have to show that angle BAC is an obtuse angle and work out the bearing of B from A. So bearing of B this particular point, bearing of B from A. So we need to work out this bearing of B from A. So this entire thing we need to work out. How can we do that? We simply need this particular angle, which right now I'm marking with X. We need to find out this angle. And the other angle is 145, which is already given to us. And when we subtract from 360, 145 and this X angle, which we will calculate, we get the required bearing. Calculate that angle which I marked with X. What we need to do is we need to use the sine rule. So after using the sine rule, 59.3 was the side that we worked out now. Opposite to that, the angle is 38. And the angle that I marked with X was opposite to side 95. On substituting the values, we get an answer for X as 99.5. That means this particular angle, after using sine rule, we get an answer of 99.5. So this first angle is 145, second angle is 99.5. The answer for bearing, required bearing is 145 plus 99.5. The given bearing is 245.5. Which is factorized question. So 18a square minus 98. I first take 2 as a common factor. What is put in the brackets is 9a square minus 49. 9 is a square of 3. 49 is a square of 7. So with the simplification of formula a square minus b square is equal to a plus b, a minus b, which is 3a plus 7 and 3a minus 7. So this is your complete factor of the given expression. Then in the next question, you have to expand and simplify. So you have to multiply 3 brackets. Firstly, these 2 brackets will multiply with each other. These 2 brackets multiply with each other. And the answer that you obtain after multiplying the 2 brackets, you multiply that with the third bracket. So when you multiply these 2 brackets, the answer that you get is 2x square plus 7x minus 4. And this trinomial multiplies with the next or the last given bracket. The answer, the final answer on simplification is 2x square plus 3x square minus 18x plus 8. Question number 19 of this question paper, solve the equation 2 plus 5 cos x is equal to 0. So 5 cos x is equal to minus 2 because this positive 2, when I shift it to the other side, positive 2 shifted to the other side will be minus 2. So cos x is equal to minus 2 divided by 5. So x is cos inverse of minus 2 divided by 5, which is 113.6. And the other value, since the two values are lying between 0 to 360, other value is 360 minus 103.6, which is equal to 246.4. So this is how you will work out the two values of cos x, and then you have to write it here. So first value of x is 113.6. Second value of x is 246.4. I scroll down further to question number 20 of this question paper. A piece of metal has volume 1240 centimeter cube corrected to nearest 20 centimeter. The mass of the piece of metal is 7800 grams, corrected to nearest 100 grams. Calculate the lower bound of the density. Formula for density is equal to mass upon volume. What we have to do here to calculate the lower bound of density, first we need to work out the upper bound of the volume. So upper bound of the volume can be worked out by 1240 plus 10. How I obtained this 10? Because it is rounded off to nearest 20. So 20 divided by 2, answer is 10. The upper bound, that is the maximum value of the volume, is 1250. And then we take the lower bound of the mass. You can see mass is the capacity here in the numerator and volume is the capacity in the denominator. So if you have to work out the lower bound of the density, you have to divide with the largest number. And the largest number is nothing but the upper bound. That's why I have taken here upper bound of volume and the lower bound of mass. The lower bound of mass would be 7,800 grams minus 50 because it is corrected to nearest 100. So 100 divided by 2 is 50. And since we are taking a lower bound, it is 7,800 minus 50. On substituting the two values, 7,750 divided by 1,250, the final answer is 6.2. So the lower bound of the density is 6.2 grams per centimeter cube.